My first guest today is Dave Campbell, Technical Fellow at Microsoft. Dave, thanks so much for being with us.
Great. Good seeing you.
Has the big data tipping point already occurred?
Yeah, I think so. And the evidence I see behind it is more and more people going after this, more and more companies reaching their own tipping point. So you can argue whether the big tipping point is here, but I see so many people getting to their own tipping point quickly that I think it'll just replicate even more.
Collective tipping point.
The collective tipping point will just come.
What was it that convinced you that we're sort of past that point?
Yeah.
Is there some piece of evidence?
Yeah, I'll give you a quick example. I talk to a lot of folks who are just getting started, and one of the things I talk about, you collect all the data to build a digital shoebox. They say, all? What do you mean by all? It can't be all. And I tell them, don't fret about that. Just get started and figure out how you can use information production to turn it into something of value. Mm-hmm. And I'll talk to those folks another 3 months later, and the aha moment will come for them. And they'll know what to collect, and they'll start. And it's a journey. I mean, it's a multi-year journey. But once they understand that they can use data to create answers to questions, to new questions, novel questions, in a really efficient way, they're off.
The empowerment sort of happens at that point,
they
right?
just get on the cycle and away they go.
In your keynote, you talked about big data being used across Microsoft's divisions. Could you share an example of that?
Yeah, one of the examples I talked about in the keynote was on Xbox, the Halo title, using that. And the same sort of thing, that designers are now able to ask from the data team questions that they never could have even imagined, say, a year or so ago. Also within running our cloud services as well in Azure, even in the data platform team, we're using the big data technologies to do things like anomaly detection. How do we have the system automatically detect when it's not feeling well long before something bad happens?
Last question for you. Now, I've heard you use the term consumerized data.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that, and how do you consumerize it?
Yeah, I think I'd say about consumerizing the movement. And so I'd characterize big data as sort of this technological wave. Mm-hmm. And for anything like that, quite often it's when it starts to disappear is when it has its biggest impact. I was talking to somebody yesterday, I said, when the smartphone just becomes the phone, you'll know its time has come.
Right.
So I think about it in terms of both the production side and the consuming side. So on the production side, I'd say consumerization, can we bring it to the masses? And the key thing there is that you need to be able to put tools in the hands of the folks who have the intuition. They're the ones who have the hunch, and let them do great things. And then on the consumption side, it's when it's just part of our everyday life. And we see it today, recommendation engines, we buy something. In the case of Halo, better gameplay, just as a result of using big data technologies sort of behind the scenes.
So we'll stop talking about big data and just start living it, right?
Just big data.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much for being with us. Appreciate you taking the time.
Certainly, my pleasure.